Let's talk about some hip 90-90 modifications to help you get the most out of that position, even if your mobility limits you from getting in that full 90-90 position. So let's actually start there just to show you some regressions, not really regressions, but just modifications that we can do. So first, our hip 90-90. Front leg directly in front, 90-degree bend in the knee. Back leg to the side, 90-degree bend in the knee. Now, in this position, you may run into a substantial amount of tension. Usually it's in the trailing hip. It can also be in the front, but my experience with the individuals I've worked with, usually in the back. Something you can do, if you can get into this position as upright as you can, but then simply walk your hand straight to the side to bring your torso away from this back hip. So it's decreasing the acuteness of this angle between your trunk and your back hip. The big thing is you do this though, is you're not going to get lazy in your shoulder. It's not going to shrug up to your ear and you're not going to let your trunk sag. You're going to drive into the floor. You're going to keep your trunk nice and straight and stiff. You can move your hand as far away from this trailing leg as you need. You want to feel tension, but you want to be able to actually get into the position and perform the long duration holds or any pails and rails from that position that you got to do. One additional step here is that you can actually even drop down to the forearm in that position as well. Again, you want to feel tension, but you also want to be able to get in the position and do the stuff that you need to do. So this is a form of modification for your hip 90-90 position. Another way to modify your hip 90-90 is to get something to sit on that's really just a few inches thick. This is about somewhere between 4 and 6 inches thick. I think a yoga block is probably a better option because it's flat. Anyways, you sit on it. So you're going to place this directly underneath your sits bones. And then with your hips elevated on this bolster, you put yourself in that hip 90-90 position. Now, what does this do? It really decreases the acuteness of this back angle and can decrease some of that stiffness you feel in the trailing hip. So we're still going for maximal external rotation on the front, maximal internal rotation on the back. From here, you can sit up nice and tall. You can do your long duration holds. You can do your pails and rails from this position. A third option, if really getting up and down off of the floor is the big thing for you, you can do this from a chair. So you sit on the edge of a chair. Just like you would on the floor, you let both knees fall to the same direction, getting that trailing knee straight to the side, 90-degree bend in the knee. Same thing with the front leg. Front thigh directly out in front, about a 90-degree bend in the knee. You'll still feel the tension and the stiffness develop in this trailing hip probably more than anywhere else as you sit upright. Big thing here though is that because of the position of your foot on the floor and just your body, you may feel a bit of tension actually in the knee joint itself. Something that can be helpful with that is to place a bolster like a rolled up towel or something underneath the heel of your foot, which elevates the heel and just makes your lower leg more in line with the rest of your leg and can take some of that tension off your knee. In any case, these are just a few ways that you can get into the hip 90-90 position, even if you feel limited in your ability to get all the way down on the